Welcome to MMA Dogs. My name is Hector. This is my dog Dan.
Hi.
And we are in Las Vegas, the home of the UFC and the mecca of MMA. In our opinion, and we've talked about this before. What do you got, dog?
Yeah, we both agree on this. They go out there and finish a fight early in the first round, but don't get caught speeding. Don't get caught speeding on this fight.
They're against a guy who just got bit by a dog with rabies or something.
For me, it's do not bet.
And betting advice: do not bet.
But it's going to be one of those things, guys. I really feel it. It's unanimous. MMA Dogs have spoken.
5-star, and that's going to be a knockout. Just something to highlight the night.
MMADogs.com. MMADAWGS.com. Who's ready to make some money? I know we are. If you're ready to consistently profit over and over again, you've come to the right place. Now let's go to my dog Hector from America's finest city.
Welcome to MMA Dogs. My name is Hector, and as always, thank you for tuning in. A big shout out and a big thank you to all of our clients. Thank you for your loyalty. Also, thank you to all of our supporters. And let's get this show on the road, baby. We got UFC Fight Night 39, Big Nog versus Big Country. Now, something I want to recap real quick before I get started is in the last 40 UFC events, 5-star picks have been 15-0, 100%. Our 4-star picks, 52-10, that's 83.8%. And the 3-star picks are 65-41 for 61.3%. So a total of 132 wins, 51 losses, 72.1%. So what's on the website? Check it out. And let's dive right into this one. So we're going to start off the night with 2 UFC newcomers. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to start off. Now, there's a bit of a shakeup here in the card because now we've only got 8 fights left. So with Craig getting sick, and then there being a cancellation, this and that. So now we've got 8 fights, and the first fight I want to talk about is Yaya. So we got Yaya versus Bedford. Now, for this fight, I am picking, and I am also betting Yaya. So let's get that out of the way, and then let's talk a little bit about Bedford first, since I won't be picking him or betting him. He's 19-10, so that's his record. 9 losses by submission. Okay, 9 losses by submission. And this guy, he fights once per year, and unless you're GSP, that's just not going to fly. You know, that's not going to cut it for you. That's not going to be sufficient. All right, you can train in the gym all you want. You can do all this stuff, blah, 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 but it's not going to be enough. And he hasn't won a fight since December of 2012. So, you know, it's just going to be a tough look for him. Now, he could potentially pose a threat on the feet, and he has good size, but he will probably get taken down and tapped. Now with Yaya, we have a guy who's 19-8, 15 wins by submission, very accomplished jiu-jitsu player. Now that's in jiu-jitsu, which doesn't always carry over to MMA. Same thing with wrestling. Just because you're good at wrestling doesn't always carry over in MMA. We'll get to that a little bit later. But in MMA, he has faced top talent. Usually loses to top talent, but he's faced the top guys. Chad Mendes, top guys. Now, I'm very familiar with Yaya. Knock on wood. I am 5-0 predicting his fights. And in the Ninimaki fight at 145 pounds, little Yaya held his own against a much bigger, more athletic guy. And, you know, so I'm not concerned about his size at 135 against Bedford. What does concern me is Yaya's gas tank. And, he's had these issues way back to his jiu-jitsu days, his Abu Dhabi championships and all the things. So he needs to get the takedown and work his submission quickly. And, Yaya will be motivated coming off a loss and will have a homecoming of sorts when he fights in Abu Dhabi. So I am not too worried about Yaya. And I do have faith in his jiu-jitsu. Now, one other thing I want to mention is that I really like Yaya's dedication and commitment to getting the takedown and working his jiu-jitsu game. And with Bedford, when I watch this guy fight, he's a bit of a loose cannon. His fight IQ, the way he fights in the octagon, just is not very smart. And all it takes is just one scramble, just one leg, just one arm, just something in the wrong position, and boom, Yaya is going to jump on it, be all over him, and take care of business. So I love Yaya. We'll be betting him in a prop. We'll be in a prop bet, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But, I almost forgot to do this. First thing, never bet more than you can afford to lose. We go into this thing with the best of intentions, with doing the homework, preparing, doing everything we can. I probably have notes I probably have a notebook inside every single room of my house. And, of course, on the MacBook, the iPad, but sometimes I just like to write things down. And so, yes, never bet more you can afford to lose. Second thing is check your local laws, local government. You want to be free and clear. You don't want any trouble, any drama. So just check, respect, the laws. And then the third thing is much respect to every single fighter that steps in the octagon. My job is to break it down. I'm pretty much the judge, the jury, and the executioner. So I'm not sitting here criticizing guys because I want to criticize somebody, bring somebody down, but rather because it is necessary to be able to predict and be good at what I do. So that covers that. And if you're wondering, since I talked a little bit about the prop bet is going to be Yaya inside the distance at plus 220. And let's move right along here. Now, this fight I'm not so excited about. It's two guys making their UFC debut. First off, that is a red flag because octagon jitters, and then the line is ridiculous. We got Jim Alers at minus 255, and Omar versus Alers. So Omar is making his UFC debut. He is well-rounded, but he's had a huge layoff, very, very long layoff. On the feet, I give the advantage to Omar, but with Jim Alers, we got a guy who is a Cage Warriors champion. He's going to have the wrestling advantage, the grappling advantage, and all it's going to take is for him to take Omar down, which Omar has been taken down plenty of times, control him on the ground, and if he wants, work a submission. So I'm taking Alers for the pick here, Jim Alers at minus 255. I think he calls himself the Beast, but I'm not in any kind of hurry to bet any kind of money down on that one. So total pass. And then we will move along to the next one. And this guy I have a lot of faith in, and that is Thales Leites. So we got Leites against Smith. And Smith is, to me, and what I've seen of him, is a brawler with power. So, he's got weak submission defense. He's got bad cardio. He's a tough guy. He's one of these guys. Just whether he is a fighter or not, whether he was an MMA fighter or not, he'd just be a tough guy. A bar room type of brawler, and that's what he is to me. With Thales Leites, we have a world class jiu-jitsu player. He has what it takes to be one of the best fighters in the world, but is his heart really there to take it to another level? And in this matchup, regardless of what I feel his motivation level is or what his dedication level is, he has enough to take out Smith. Even on a bad day, on a bad day, Thales Leites has enough and has what it takes to take out Smith. especially if he gets his fight to the ground like I think he will. Training at Novo Niao with all those good small guys, but also now they've got a good stable of middleweights, and even Junior Dos Santos training over there in Novo Niao. So he's got a really good team around him. It's a homecoming for him of sorts too. Going back to Abu Dhabi and just taking care of business, getting the takedown and submitting Smith. And if he doesn't get the takedown and submit Smith, he will win a 3-round decision. So I have a lot of faith in Leites here, and I expect him to continue his good streak he's had since he's been back in the UFC. And then we've got so Thales Leites, minus 460, big price tag, but it's well deserved because it's a fight he can win. And I hope he finishes, get it done nice and quick. And we'll be betting Thales Leites. And then for the next fight, we've got 2 heavyweights, and this is very interesting. We have Omielanczuk and Rosholt. So with Rosholt, we know we're getting a very good wrestler, right? A very good wrestler from Oklahoma State. And but a lot of these guys, they come into the UFC with this great background in wrestling, or this great background in jiu-jitsu, or this great background in kickboxing. But once they have to go in the octagon and mix it all up and do it all, they don't perform. They're not the athlete that they were in their root sport. And Rosholt, to me, is one of these guys. He's not as good as he was at in his collegiate wrestling. He's just not. And with Daniel Omielanczuk, he, for this camp, went to San Jose, California, trained at AKA, and this is a heavyweight fight, plus 220. Daniel has submissions. He's got knockout power. And Rosholt, he to me, he's like a big, not I won't call him a dummy, but he's like just a big guy in there who is ready to be submitted or ready to be knocked out, and I fully expect Daniel to take advantage of it. I like Omielanczuk in this fight at plus 220. Wow. I'm going with Daniel on this one, and I'll cover the bets here in a little bit. And just 4 more to go, unfortunately. So we're halfway there. Now with this one, we got Beneil Dariush. Dariush against Nijem. Now with Nijem, we have a guy, a very interesting little case here. This guy is, to me, flaky. He's got a weak chin. This will be a second camp that he's made in San Francisco with the Scrap Pack, with Jake Shields, Gilbert Melendez, and the knockoff Faraz Zahabi, Jake Shields' trainer. And he seems very, very motivated for this fight. Him and his brother are living in San Francisco now, so he seems to be in the right place. But I can't ignore, that chin of his, and he'll be on, he'll be off, he'll be on, he'll be off. Now with Beneil, with Benny, we're getting a guy at minus 235 who's fought once in the UFC. And yeah, he beat Charlie Brenneman, and Brenneman is a respectable guy, but minus 235, dang, I was expecting minus 180 around there. And I don't mind laying the price if I fully know, no meaning, that I expect. But like I said, with the whole rating system that I have and all that, if I feel very confident in a guy, I don't mind it. But minus 235, no way. With Dariush, we know he's another accomplished jiu-jitsu player, and he's working on his stand-up with Master Cordero, at King's MMA. He has all those savages and beasts, Jake Ellenberger, Munoz, all those guys that he trains with. So I am going to go with Dariush. I expect Benny to win this fight, but minus 235, dang, I'm like, we'll wait and see on that one, but I'm gonna pass on that. And then this next one I am very excited for, because this is a guy that I have been watching for a while now, and he reminds me of one of these guys that when I think about him, I think about a guy that I watched, and I watched his rise, and I bet on him all the way up, even until he won the belt when I was watching Junior Dos Santos come on the scene real strong. And this guy is Ryan LaFlare. Now, Ryan LaFlare has taken on Howard. Now, Howard has had two easy fights since he's been back. So, he beat up, the Hall, who has all the raw talent and all the raw skills it's going to take to win, but he's not there yet. And then we took on CR, this guy who is, a kickboxer with no ground game whatsoever. And, that doesn't impress me one bit. Now, the other thing that bothers me about Howard is all that talk he was making about, 185, I have my power, and if you've seen me fight at 185, I've got this and I've got that. Now he's down to 170 again, barely making weight. He's going to have the Abu Dhabi heat. They will be fighting outdoors. He's going to have that Abu Dhabi heat beating down on him. And with his cardio already not being there, the weight cut and him being out-wrestled and in the past. And, I just see a recipe for disaster for Howard. It's a long road for him tomorrow. And with Ryan LaFlare, we have a guy who has this guy's really come on the scene. Very, very good wrestling. His stand-up is constantly and very quickly improving. Very smart guy. Very just a all the way accomplished individual. And I like this guy a lot. He will go out there and show Howard how it's going to be done. And I would not be surprised if we see Ryan LaFlare finish Howard. And I am taking Ryan LaFlare in this fight. Now, 2 more to go. We got Guida versus Kawajiri. Now, this fight is really interesting, the way the line has moved back and forth. With Kawajiri, he is, to me, inconsistent. His age, he's 35 years old. He used to fight at 155 lightweight. Now he's down at 145. He's been at down 145 for a while now, but usually when a fighter is dropping weight, it's usually a bet either he was fighting out of his bone structure, out of his frame, or he's had some trouble. With Kawajiri, he couldn't cut it at 155, so he dropped to 145. His cardio also inconsistent. I saw what he did in his debut, of course, and I wasn't impressed with his debut, honestly. I mean, I know what he did to Soriano, but still, it's like, I'm not impressed. That was in Asia, too. And with Clay Guida, we have a guy who also dropped to 145, and that's more his natural frame. He doesn't look as dried out or as stiff or as unhealthy as Kawajiri looks. He doesn't look all roided up and juiced up and stuff. So with Guida, I think the drop for him serves him right. With Guida, we know what we're gonna get from Guida. We know we're gonna get. We're gonna get this back and forth movement, and he's just unbelievable cardio. He says that he's gonna show Kawajiri what the wrestling game is all about, and he's training with Izzy Martinez over there, Izzy Style Wrestling. Greg Jackson's camp. Well, I mean, we know Clay Guida's game, and I'm going with Clay Guida here. I don't expect Kawajiri to be able to hold him down or take him down for any extended period length of time. And on the feet, we know what Guida's going to be doing, playing to the judges. So I'm going with Clay Guida here, and in a pretty much pick 'em fight. Guida's sitting around minus 125 right now. And then we got another one, pretty much pick 'em fight. We got Big Country versus Nogueira. Now, Nogueira, we know he's a legend. We've seen what he's done in Japan. I mean, we know all about Nogueira. And he's very entertaining to watch. Got a huge heart. But age and injuries have just caught up with this poor guy. I know he's doing this gymnastics thing he's doing now with one of these trainers. And trying to work on his flexibility and agility and, health and all that stuff. But at this point in the game, it's good for him, that he's doing it. But at this point in the game, man, this is something that these guys have to start as soon as possible, when they're in their 20s. At this point, it's a little too late, I think. And with Roy Big Country Nelson, he this guy, first thing I gotta mention is his chin, man. This guy, I saw him take a beating. And I think I've talked about this in the videos in the past. To Junior Dos Santos, I mean, just an ass whooping at UFC 117 in Oakland at the Oracle Arena. And right after the fight, you see Big Country Roy Nelson come out and just chit-chatting and talking. I mean, this guy is tough guy. Now, I wish that he has gotten by on his believe it or not, on his. Of course, he trains and he does everything, but natural, just gifted, athletic kind of guy. He doesn't look the part, but there's a lot of people out there who are naturally gifted and athletic, but don't necessarily look. He's got the gut. Although his stomach does seem flatter, and everything seems to be a little bit more tightened up with him. But just if it didn't come so easy to him, with that big overhand right, I think he could have made a more of a career for himself. I mean, imagine if he ate right, he slept the amount of time he needs to sleep. If he just did everything the right way, like let's say like a GSP, Big Country may have gone even further in his career, especially being a heavyweight, So for this one, I do expect Nelson to land the big overhand right. I don't think Nogueira, his chin is as good as it used to be. And I expect him to land the big overhand right, but I'm not running anywhere to place a bet on this fight. Although I am running to my setup I have here to watch the fights in the morning. So here we go, baby. Here we go. 20 minutes in. Let's talk about the 5-star picks. Unfortunately, none. I'm always looking for those 5-star picks, but none tomorrow morning. And then the 4 stars. So we got a couple of 4 stars. The first one is Thales Leites. At minus 460. Ryan LaFlare at minus 360. So 2 4-star picks. And then, unfortunately, no 3-star picks. But I do have a few leans. So these are not guaranteed bets. They are not guaranteed picks. But they are leans, and the reason I want to include these is because there's only 8 fights, and I'm betting on 2 of them, which would put us at 25. Betting on 25% of the fights, but with this one, I want to share my leans with you guys, so that way, with my clients here, if you're thinking, well, what about this? What about that? I am leaning towards Yaya. I am leaning towards Daniel Omielanczuk. I am leaning towards Clay Guida, and I am leaning towards Beneil Dariush. Now, I expect 50% of those to hit. And I am going to move down to the bets. So these are guaranteed. These bets are guaranteed. Here we go. MMA Dogs bets. 1 unit equals 1% of the bankroll. So Thales Leites at minus 460 and Ryan LaFlare at minus 360. Parlayed, that gives us minus 180. 5 units to win 2.78. So 5 units to win 2.78 units. The next bet is Yaya inside the distance at plus 220. 1 unit to win 2.20 units. So 2.2 units there. Daniel Omielanczuk plus 230. 0.5 units, so half a unit to win 1.15 units. And Daniel Omielanczuk at plus 330. So the first one is plus 230, so he can win inside the distance. He can win by anything, decision, disqualification. That was a plus 230. Now, inside the distance at plus 330, half a unit, 0.5 units to win 1.65 units. So there will be 4 bets. All in all, it's 7 units to win 7.48 units. So, like I said, it's now time to take the test. So the homework, all the studying, all the watching the film, everything comes down to this. It's now time to put it to the test. And thanks again for tuning in. If you're on the fence about it, you're checking out the MMA Dogs, you're wondering, should I do it, should I not? We've got a really good price on the pre-sale, so you can get your deal on the pre-sale, and then look through the record. It's all verified. I mean, all the numbers are there. Check it all out. And that sums it up. So I will be up in about 9 hours. About 9 hours from now, up, jumping up and down, cheering on my fighters, excited as can be watching these fights, and I hope you guys will too. I'll talk to you guys real soon. We got a fight coming up right around the corner, and I hope you guys have a good night or day, depending on what part of the world you're in. And I'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks for tuning in.
Nobody likes to lose, so be done letting that money burn its way through your pockets. Slow down, get ready. We are so confident that you will profit from our picks that if you don't, we will refund your money and give you the next card on us. In order to profit in the long run, it's important to be consistent with our picks. Rome wasn't built in a day and neither was Vegas. MMAdogs.com. Profit guaranteed.
MMA Dogs.